My name's Ryan Walker. I am one half of the Weston Biltong Company. We are a biltong producer based in the heart of the Cheshire countryside. So it's me and my darling wife Cheryl that actually run the business. And basically we produce possibly what we call some of the most authentic biltong you can find in the UK. I used to have a corporate career working in call centres, and one day I was sat in my office, as it were, and I had a small tub of biltong on my desk. A young lady came into the same meeting, noticed I had this tub. She recognised it as biltong straight away, which was unusual. At this moment in time, I'm just making it for myself. She said, "Oh, what's that?" And I said, "Well, it's biltong. Do you know what biltong?" "Oh, I love biltong." Anyway, she tasted it. She went, "My word, where did you get that from?" And I said, "Well, I make it myself, for me." "Please," she said, "make me some." "Oh, yeah, of course we can do that. Yeah, that's not a problem." So I started making some. And before I know where I am, I've got people lining up at my desk asking me to make biltong for them. Shortly after that, we went from one little box like that to 10 boxes. At this point, we're not official, as it were. We are just making it for family and friends and people at work. And I seem to have myself a niche audience in a particular call centre that meant every Monday morning I was walking in with kilos and kilos of it. And that's what gave us the initial thought around there's something to this. It can be quite challenging at times. We always say you've got to keep developing. We try to just keep things fresh all the time. We're introducing new products into the shop. We can swap and change flavours as and when we want. The moment you think you know it all is when you stop learning, and that is when it becomes a problem. When we first started officially 10 years ago as a business, SEO wasn't as prominent as what it was. It was quite easy, if that makes sense. It was make sure you've got all your keywords in one place, and you just sort of batter your website with as many as you can. And obviously as times have changed, Google has started changing how they rank things and they look at things. We've tried several different things over the years just to try and keep ahead of it, and one thing and another. And then an opportunity came up to work with Hike. I was online one day and this article came up and a few things had changed within our business. I took a look at what Hike was saying that they could do and how they could help and so on with small businesses, which is great because you quite often talk to some of these other agencies out there that are trying to do similar things to what Hike do. But when you speak to them, the money they're talking is just, it's not sustainable for a business such as ours. Yes, we're far bigger than we ever thought, but the numbers were just ridiculous. When we started looking at Hike, and we sent them an inquiry through the website, and then had a video call with somebody. Now, what I found totally refreshing, with my limited knowledge of SEO, what I find totally refreshing was the guys at Hike were prepared to say, this will not happen overnight. This is a long journey. This is you put the foundations in place and you build and you build and you build over time. There are too many agencies out there. We can get you to number one on Google overnight. If you're not number one in 2 months, you get your money back type of thing. That sets alarm bells going with me. And for somebody to actually stand there and say, look, this is not going to happen overnight. We need to do this properly. We need to build a solid foundation to allow you to build and build and build. And to be quite honest, that is exactly what has happened. The first 3 months, it was very much a case of getting used to the Hike system and how it worked. The introduction of Kit, which is the AI element of what it does, has been brilliant, to be fair. It's very, very simple. It's dead easy to use. It literally walks you through every step you've got to do for its recommendations. And it takes care of literally everything. It takes care of your Google My Business, which is something which a lot of people vastly underrate. It's putting posts on there on a regular basis for you under Google My Business. It's putting you onto different platforms, making people aware you're in business directories that I hadn't heard of, and you are constantly getting feedback. What I love about it is every month you get an email saying, this is what I've done, and it will tell you exactly what it's done. So rather than sort of with an agency of things, oh, we've done this and blah, 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 it will physically say, we've done this is what we've done, and it will show you. I appreciate better than anybody, unfortunately, in the world of SEO, you can't say I did A and I got B. It doesn't work like that. What I can categorically say is since using Hike, our presence online and our keyword scores against others is growing and growing and growing. And that is month in, month out. And again, if there's any questions or anything, there's always online help there for you, and it's very, very simple, very effective. The results we're getting, compared to what you can pay with other agencies, is ridiculous. After we'd had the initial conversation around how we weren't going to get immediate results, After about 6 months, I started to look and really get under the skin and analyse what had changed. And it became very apparent very quickly that our actual web interactions and our actual sales online had actually increased by 34%. We'd done nothing else in the background apart from the regular stuff on the website, adding new products and things like that. The social media element hadn't changed or anything. So it was great. It was a simple, stable thing to be able to do and say, yes, the only thing that's changed is the introduction of Hike. Everything else remained the same. And that continues to this day. Every month we're just going up and up and up and up.